number 10, Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt. Before Brangelina took over Hollywood, Bennifer was a thing. Actually, I don't know if they had a ship name, but if not, I just made one. You're welcome. Jennifer and Brad's romance story started in the 90s, meeting for the first time in 94, but going on their first date in 98. After 2 years of dating, the wedding of the year took place in 2000 on a bluff in Malibu because nothing says romance and everlasting love like standing on a cliff. Things were okay until Angelina came into the picture after she and Brad met while working on Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Fast forward to 2005 and Bennifer was no more. They filed for divorce, making room for Brangelina. It was a whirlwind breakup because of the cheating scandals, as Angie became the other woman of sorts, and even as things died down over the years, tabloids would bring this drama up from time to time, almost making it seem as though things aren't exactly over for this unfortunate love triangle. It seems as though Brad and Jen have reunited in 2020 as they are both now single, but I don't know if you can really call it a comeback from that heavily publicized breakup. At number 9, Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson. 2013 was a rough time for Twilight fans. Not only were they still heartbroken and mourning the death of their beloved vampiric saga, but they were also mourning the death of their OTPs, Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson. Since the beginning of the Twilight franchise, fans were obsessed with Kristen and Rob's relationship, wishing that they would take their on-screen love into the real world. For years, the actors had shut down rumors that they were dating until 2011 when they finally confirmed that they were together. Fans were ecstatic and soon came speculations that a proposal was soon to come, but unfortunately that moment never came. In 2013, while working on the film Snow White and the Huntsman, Kristen was caught cheating on Rob with the film's director, Rupert Sanders. Paparazzi had speculated that something was going on between them for a while, and so they finally got confirmations of this affair when the two were caught getting cozy together. When news of this scandal broke, it got crazy, and soon we saw statements from Rupert's wife, as well as news that Robert and Kristen had broken up officially. This ended with Kristen being labeled a homewrecker, and a lot of people still hate her for it. Rob's heartbreak was heavily publicized, and most people took his side, but really, I think their whole relationship was just a publicity stunt, and they needed a wild way to end it. But what do you guys think? At number 7, Taylor Swift and Calvin Harris. Now, obviously, we couldn't make a list talking about the messiest breakups without including Taylor Swift. I mean, she's built her entire career on breakup songs, and you obviously can't have the breakup song without the breakup. Arguably, one of Taylor's messiest breakups was with DJ Calvin Harris, and though it didn't end up with a lot of upfront hostility, there was a lot of shade, a lot of jealousy, and a lot of drama. After a brief relationship, Taylor and Calvin broke up in 2016, and when news broke of their split, it was speculated that they broke up because their spark had fizzled out and that things just weren't working out for them. No hostility and no drama, they just fell out of love. Things were fine until Taylor went public with her new relationship with Marvel actor Tom Hiddleston a little over 2 weeks after breaking up with Calvin. This started to stir drama because some fans, as well as some news sources, believed that Taylor was only dating Tom to make Calvin jealous. Tom and Taylor was seen traveling together and meeting Taylor's parents. Meanwhile, Calvin was being bombarded by paparazzi asking about his take on this new relationship. Things escalated into the music world as reports came out involving Rihanna into Taylor and Calvin's relationship troubles, and Calvin even alleged that Taylor was still texting him weeks after they were over. This breakup was unnecessarily messy, but it made for some good music content for Taylor. At number 6, Zayn Malik and Perrie Edwards. Another complicated relationship here, this time with former One Direction member Zayn Malik and Lil Mix member Perrie Edwards. After meeting in 2011, dating in 2012, and getting engaged in 2013, Zayn and Perrie's perfect world came crumbling down in 2015 after a dramatic and messy public breakup. When news broke of their split, fans just had to know why. These two were loved by so many fans, and for them to suddenly call it quits, people wanted to know what was going on. It was alleged that Zayn broke up with Perrie over text, but I don't know if that was really true or not. About a week after initial reports of their split, fans learned that the couple's home was put on the market, and that apparently Zayn had asked Perrie to move out of their house shortly after their breakup. Perrie was having a hard time with the sudden split, even breaking down in tears on stage at one of her girl group's concerts. Meanwhile, news outlets were reporting on Zayn's parties at his Bel Air mansion. The media as well as fans were divided in choosing sides. Perrie was being shown as the blindsided and broken one, while Zayn was being seen as aloof and cold. Not too long after the breakup, Zayn was seen hanging around model Gigi Hadid, and it was thought that Zayn had left Perrie for Gigi. Eventually, things sort of died down between Perrie and Zayn, with the two subtly shading each other every once in a while. At number 5, Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. Miley and Liam's relationship was certainly complicated. They were on and off for 10 years before before ending things in 2019, and even then, their divorce was messy. Miley and Liam got married in December 2018, but after 8 months of marriage, they confirmed their split and filed for divorce. What made things messy was Miley's unexpected and sudden relationship with Caitlyn Carter. Miley and Caitlyn took a trip together after their respective relationships had ended and entered into a new romantic relationship with each other. A lot of people speculated that Miley had cheated on Liam with Caitlyn and that it was the reason why she left him, but Miley denied those allegations. Liam and Caitlyn's ex Brody Jenner were seen shading their exes for moving on like this, but eventually things cooled off. Miley and Liam's divorce was finalized in January 2020, and apparently it was a very hard time for Miley, as she referred to the divorce as death because it was so big and so public. At number 4, Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. This is another one of those relationships that are just hard to map out because they're so all over the place and complicated. Much like Miley and Liam, Selena and Justin were on and off throughout the years, and so their breakup was just as messy because it spanned over a long time. It's almost as though they broke up in stages before finally calling it quits for good. Really, there is no official ending to their relationship because things were always up in the air. They would break up and then the possibility of them getting back together was always there. Even when the two of them got into new relationships, things would always somehow come back to the two of them. Justin allegedly got into a fight with one of Selena's boyfriends because he still had feelings for her, and Selena would always be asked about Justin even if they weren't together. The time they spent in the news between relationships pretty much serves as their big messy breakup because, like I said before, it spanned for such a long time, it's like it was broken into phases like the MCU. I guess things officially ended for Jelena when Justin married Hailey Baldwin, and let's hope it stays that way because no one needs that toxic energy again. At number 3, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt doesn't seem to have much luck with his relationships because he has another messy breakup, but this time with Angelina Jolie. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Brad and Angelina met while Brad was still married to Jennifer Aniston, and Angie sort of replaced Jen. Though there was initially some bad blood, things died down and Brangelina was born. Brad and Angie spent 10 years together, adopting a bunch of children and living a seemingly picture-perfect Hollywood life. The two got married in 2014, but just 2 years into their marriage, they got divorced. This breakup was intense and messy, and entertainment news sources were all over this story. Soon, cheating rumors started circulating, and later the matter of the children's custody fanned the flame. During their divorce proceedings, Brad's parenting came into question as allegations were made against him that questioned their kid's situation in Brad's care. Apparently, news came out about Angie's reason for ending their decade-long relationship with Brad, citing that he had gotten into a fight with their oldest child, Maddox, which prompted Angie to reevaluate their relationship. It was tumultuous and messy, but it seems as though they're both living their lives safely and separately at this time. At number 2, Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande. Ariana and Pete's relationship took people by surprise. It was short and intense, and the breakup was messy too. The two started dating in May of 2018, and by late June, they were engaged. They fell for each other so quickly, moving in together and planning their lives together as well. But things ended as quickly as they began, and by October, they were done. After getting tattoos dedicated to each other, they were quickly covered up, and soon the shade began. Shortly after the news of their breakup was broadcast, Pete poked fun at his failed relationship in a comedy set, and Ariana then moved on to subtweeting her ex for shading her. And she even included a reference to their relationship in her song Thank You Next. There was some back and forth shading and dissing each other in more jokes and music, but that all seems to be over now. Ariana is now engaged to someone else, and everyone seems to be moving on now. And finally, at number 1, Khloe and Tristan's relationship absolutely exploded in the media because of cheating and backstabbing and just so much drama. Basically, this whole ordeal revolved around Khloe, Tristan, and Kylie Jenner's BFF, Jordyn Woods. Tristan cheated on Khloe multiple times during her pregnancy, including a few times with Jordyn Woods, who had been a family friend for years. When news of Tristan's infidelity broke, the internet went nuts, and so did the Kar Jenner family. Khloe and Tristan ended up breaking up, and the family also broke up with Jordyn after she backstabbed the family. Kylie weighed in on this scandal, saying how heartbroken she was to find out that her best friend betrayed her like that. The breakup was also talked about on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where Khloe's sisters, Kim and Kourtney, came to her side and seriously wanted to fight Tristan. Their relationship has been rocky ever since, as Khloe only keeps him in her life for her daughter's sake.
Fans were thrilled for Demi Lovato when she announced her engagement to Max Eric just a few months ago, but now people are concerned after some of his crazy behavior has started to show. Today on Beyond the Screen, I'm going to give you guys all the details about their split and why Demi is now seeking legal advice about it. I'm your host for this one, I'm Joss Bedard, and make sure you guys subscribe and ring the bell to hang out with us every day. You can also catch up with us on social media, our links are down below. But for now, I know you want to hear this juicy story about a crazy ex-boyfriend boyfriend, so let's do it. We first learned about Demi and Max's relationship during quarantine when Demi accidentally walked into his live stream on Instagram and the world realized that they were quarantining together, like as a couple. They were only dating for a few months when they announced their engagement. People were shocked since they hadn't been together for that long, but they seemed so genuinely happy that fans couldn't help but be excited for them. And at first, everything about their engagement seemed like a fairy tale. That was until articles started surfacing claiming that Max had been texting Demi's friend, Selena Gomez. There were screenshots of conversations between them, but then everyone involved agreed they were fake and they actually had been photoshopped. However, these screenshots revealed something else. Turns out that Max was a huge stalker fan of Selena Gomez. Screenshots showed that he used to comment on all her pictures and private message her saying that they were gonna get married someday. He even commented on a photo of Demi and Selena and wrote that Selena was hotter than Demi, which is super awkward now. So not long after all these screenshots surfaced, the two of them split up and the engagement was called off. Demi never spoke about their split but confirmed it for everyone by deleting all their pictures off her social media, including their engagement photos. Because in this day and age, that's what people do. You know someone broke up when their pictures are deleted. He followed suit and did the same, but told media outlets their split was never official because he never spoke to her on the phone about it or in person. Since the breakup, Demi has remained very silent on the subject and has continued to make music and continue on with her personal life and career. But it seems that Max is having a more difficult time with it and his behavior has been a little more strange. It was just reported that Demi has allegedly sought the advice of lawyers after Max has reportedly not left her alone since their split. A source told E! News that she's having a lot of issues with him right now and that he's been attempting to contact her friends and family who have all blocked him on social media. So basically, he's a crazy ex-boyfriend is what these reports are saying. Usually it's the girlfriend, so this is a nice change. Max has not remained quiet throughout any of this and has not shied away from sharing his thoughts on their split. He's gone on Instagram Live to talk about it, he's written captions about it in his posts, he's even written a song about it apparently. During one of his live streams, he claimed that Demi ended things as a publicity stunt and that he found out they had split by reading it in the media. He slammed her online, saying she turned their breakup into a PR stunt after she released a new single called Still Have Me, which was a huge success by the way. He talked about it on Instagram Live and said, "I thought I found the real deal. Now I found out that I was used, but I hope the song is #1 because you know what? If that's what someone wants in the material world, here you go, you have it." But as of yesterday, apparently Max is now releasing his own single about their relationship, which kind of contradicts everything that he was just saying about her having a song about the breakup. His album will not come out until next year, but the single will be out this Friday, so that should be juicy. But what really shocked people was footage that surfaced this weekend of Max crying on a beach by himself, which was actually the beach and the spot that he proposed to Demi on a few months ago. Video footage showed him sitting in the sand by himself, clearly upset. He got up and walked around at one point, even talking on the phone in the water, and then just went and sat back down and started crying again. TMZ said they also ran into him last week at LAX and he was begging them to leave him alone and to give him privacy during this time. Only they know that, but there has been nothing private about their split, and that is because of his actions. So we will see what happens from here on out. There is a chance though that Demi will not have to get any lawyers involved because Max posted on his Instagram yesterday morning that the chapter has officially closed and he can move forward. Fans have speculated that he was talking about their relationship, meaning the chapter. So maybe he was talking about it and maybe he will truly move forward with more grace this time, hopefully.
Starting off this countdown, we have Gigi Hadid and Zayn Malik. The history between these two is wild. They've been dating on and off for years. They started dating late 2015. They called it quits in March of 2018. 2 months later, they were spotted together again. In January of 2019, they announced that they broke up again. Zayn said that he had a lot of issues that Gigi just couldn't help him get through. A year later, it was announced that they were back together and then they gave birth to their first child, Kai. A little while later, there was an incident between Zayn and Gigi's mom, Yolanda. She claims that he grabbed and shoved her into a dresser during a fight. She also claims that he yelled a number of profanities at her. She She also said that Malik reportedly would yell at Gigi a number of times over the phone when he wasn't in the US. One thing he said on the phone to her was, I quote, "Strap on some effing balls and defend your partner against your effing mother in my house." Obviously, due to all this and more, Yolanda does not want Zayn in Gigi's life, let alone near Kai. So this whole thing is the definition of messy. In our 9th spot, we have Grimes and Elon Musk. After being together for 3 years, the pair called it quits in September of 2021. Apparently, this happened due to the fact that he was always traveling for his work at SpaceX and Tesla, whereas Grimes mainly works in LA. But apparently, for quite some time after their separation, Grimes and their baby were still living with Elon Musk. The two maintained that they were semi-separated but remained on good terms, which I don't think was always the case. Later, Grimes revealed that the two had gotten into an argument over their baby's name and fought days before she went into labor. Then in July, Musk tweeted out saying that pronouns suck, and Grimes did not like this at all. She replied, and I quote, "I love you, but please turn off your phone and give me a dial." She continued on saying, "I cannot support hate. Please stop this. I know this isn't your heart." She quickly deleted this reply, and Musk unfollowed her the next day. Moving on to number 8, we have Addison Rae and Bryce Hall. TikTok stars Addison Rae and Bryce Hall called it quits in March 2021. The pair began their romance in November of 2020. It wasn't long for the two to call it quits after Bryce Hall was suspected of cheating on Addison, although Bryce denied any of the claims. But this eventually led to the pair unfollowing each other on Instagram. Despite Bryce claiming that all the cheating allegations were false, he said that it drastically impacted their relationship. He said, and I quote, "I'll be honest, I broke up with her because I was completely stressed out with it all. I paid so much in lawyer fees to get all this bullshit off my plate." And even though Addison found a way to trust him again, it still put a lot of strain on their relationship. In our 7th spot, we have Tana Mongeau and Modsun. Seems like Tana Mongeau broke girl code after going after her ex-girlfriend's ex-boyfriend Modsun. It's confusing, I know. She dated Bella Thorne, who dated Modsun previously, and apparently they were in like a polyamorous relationship. I don't really know, it's confusing. In 2019, Bella took to Twitter accusing Tana of breaking girl code. She never revealed what she did, but it seems like she was upset about Tana and Modsun dating. They kind of had a thing for a while, but stayed apart to avoid drama. Then Tana went on tour with Modsun just before the pandemic started. Shortly after, the two went to LA and quarantined together. Anyways, in August of 2021, in a podcast, Tana revealed why the pair broke up. And it wasn't because of the Bella drama. It was because of Tana's OnlyFans. In the podcast, she said, and I quote, "The literal, actual reason we broke up, we were doing perfectly fine as a couple, literally perfectly fine. And then I wanted to start an OnlyFans, and he wasn't. He was not down for it. That was sincerely the reason. I am not shaming him for this because I think obviously, like, let's say I were to talk to him about it in an hour, let's say we sit down, I think he would have seen what it is and what it's become, and become more accepting. But he was very much kind of, you're gonna become a star." And I was like, you've dated literal stars. So, yikes. That's all I gotta say to that one. Yikes. In our 6th spot today, we have Aaron Carter and Melanie Martin. This is another very rocky relationship. The pair started dating in January of 2020, and it's been messy ever since. A week after welcoming their first child together, Aaron announced that they had split. In a tweet, he said, "Due to personal reasons, Melanie Martin and I have decided to go our separate ways." He continued on saying, and I quote, "There has been a very big lie, and my sister communicating with my ex-fiance ruined everything, considering she knew what Angel tried to do to me in court. Thanks, Angel, you ruined my family." So apparently Melanie was in talks with his estranged twin sister, Angel Carter, and he was not too happy about that. In another tweet, he said, and I quote, "I've never felt more devastated and betrayed and lied to in my entire life. This is such a horrible situation considering Prince doesn't deserve any of this, and now it's my job to just be a single father, and that's what's gonna happen." Not only that, but Carter posted on Instagram saying that he was trapped inside of his bedroom because Melanie wouldn't let him leave his house. In fact, because of everything that was going down, Child Protective Services actually showed up at their house. And of course, Carter had to go live on Instagram when they did. But then apparently a week later, the pair were back together, so I honestly don't know anymore. Are they still together? Are they broken up again? I don't know. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. Since 2016, Khloe and Tristan have been dating on and off. On June 21st of 2021, the pair called it off again. Now, many people would agree that their relationship isn't the best, and that's because Tristan has cheated on Khloe a number of times. Khloe even said that she has felt betrayed by him, but still continues to go back to him. And just this year, it was revealed that Tristan is the father to a 3rd child. He was dating Khloe at the time that his son was conceived. Like, come on, Khloe, you deserve so much better. In our 4th spot, we have John Mulaney and Anna Marie Tendler. After 6 years of marriage together, the couple announced on May 10th that they have split up. John's spokesperson said, and I quote, "John will not have any further comment as he continues to focus on his recovery and getting back to work." Meanwhile, Anna said, and I quote, "I am heartbroken that John has decided to end our marriage. I wish him support and success as he continues his recovery." So it was John who decided to file for divorce. Later, it was revealed that the pair was going through a rough patch, while also experiencing irreconcilable differences in their marriage. Just months later, John got together with Olivia Munn. Fans were shocked at how fast he moved on. And only months into their new relationship, they announced that they were expecting their first child, which was shocking. Not only due to the fact how fast it all happened, but also because Mulaney has also made it clear that he didn't want kids. Moving on to number 3, we have Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez. J-Lo and A-Rod first met in 1999 when Alex was still playing baseball. Then again at a Yankees game in 2005, but at the time they were both married to other people. Eventually though, things fell into place and the pair began dating in 2017. 2 years later, in 2019, they got engaged. But in March of 2021, the pair split. According to J-Lo's friend that talked about their split, she said, and I quote, "J-Lo insisted on it. There are too many issues that are unresolved. She has been pretty miserable and didn't think it was in her best interest to stay with Alex." Then, only months later, rumors swirled about J-Lo and Ben Affleck getting back together. And now it's official. They are. Hashtag Bennifer for life. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Kim and Kanye. Of course, they had to make it to number 1 on today's list because everything going on between them is wild. On January 5th, 2021, news broke that Kim and Kanye were ending their marriage, and on February 19th, 2021, Kim officially filed for divorce. The two have 4 children together, and that right now is causing a lot of drama. Apparently, Kim was keeping the kids away from Kanye. Kim wants full custody, but obviously Kanye wants joint custody. Kim says that Kanye is unstable. Kanye says that Kim's unstable. It's just really messy. And now it's even worse when you throw Pete Davidson into the mix. That's just adding more fuel to the fire. On June 10th, 2021, during the Keeping Up with the Kardashians season finale, Kim said, and I quote, "After turning 40 this year, I realized, no, I don't want a husband that lives in a completely different state. To me, I thought, oh my God, that's when we're getting along the best. But then, that is sad to me, and that's not what I want." Yikes, that's a hard thing to admit. And I feel like their situation is going to just keep getting messier before it gets better.